Most people believe that successful CEOs are different because they have more money, better connections, or extraordinary talent. But the truth is much simpler. The greatest difference lies in how they think. Successful CEOs understand that their time is their most valuable asset. While others spend their days reacting to problems, they spend their time deciding what truly matters. They know that being busy is not the same as being productive. Activity creates movement, but only focus creates results. The average person often asks, "What should I do today?" A successful CEO asks a different question. What is the most important thing that will move me closer to my goal? This small shift in thinking changes everything. Successful leaders are also obsessed with effectiveness. They understand that doing 10 unimportant tasks perfectly is less valuable than completing one meaningful task that creates impact. They constantly evaluate where their attention is going and whether it is producing real results. Another characteristic of successful CEOs is their ability to think long-term. They do not become trapped by today's obstacles. While others focus on immediate difficulties, they focus on future opportunities. They understand that every decision shapes tomorrow's reality. They also accept responsibility completely. When something goes wrong, they do not waste time blaming circumstances, competitors, or other people. They ask one question: what can I do to improve this situation? Responsibility gives them power because it keeps them focused on solutions rather than excuses. Successful CEOs are careful about where they place their attention. They know that attention is a limited resource. Every distraction steals energy from something important. This is why they develop the discipline to say no to many things, so they can say yes to what truly matters. They are not afraid of making decisions. They understand that waiting for perfect certainty often creates bigger risks than taking thoughtful action. They gather information, evaluate the facts, make a decision, and move forward with confidence. Another powerful habit is continuous learning. Successful leaders never assume they know everything. They remain curious. They study trends, learn from mistakes, and constantly seek better ways of doing things. Their growth never stops because they know that success belongs to those who keep adapting. Great CEOs also understand the power of people. They recognize that no significant achievement is accomplished alone. Instead of trying to do everything themselves, they focus on building strong teams, empowering others, and creating environments where people can perform at their best. Most importantly, successful CEOs think in terms of contribution. They ask themselves how they can create value, solve problems, and improve the lives of others. They know that lasting success is built on serving customers, helping teams succeed, and making meaningful contributions. The way you think determines the way you act. The way you act determines the results you create. If you want extraordinary results, begin by changing your thinking. Focus on effectiveness instead of busyness. Think about opportunities instead of obstacles. Take responsibility instead of making excuses. And commit yourself to continuous improvement. That is how successful CEOs think. And the moment you begin thinking this way, you begin moving toward success yourself. Successful leaders understand the truth that many people overlook. Being busy does not guarantee success. It is possible to spend an entire day working hard and still accomplish very little that truly matters. The most effective CEOs do not judge their day by how many tasks they completed. Instead, they measure success by the value they created. They know that results come from focusing on the right activities, not from filling every minute with work. Many people confuse movement with progress. They answer emails, attend them, eating, and constantly switch between tasks, believing they are being productive. Yet at the end of the day, they find themselves no closer to their most important goals. Successful leaders avoid this trap. They regularly ask themselves a simple but powerful question: which action will create the greatest impact? This question helps them identify the few activities that deserve their full attention. The most successful CEOs are masters of prioritization. They understand that not every task carries the same weight. Some actions produce extraordinary results, while others consume time without adding much value. Instead of treating every responsibility as equally important, they focus their energy on the critical tasks. that drive growth, innovation, and long-term success. Their ability to distinguish what matters from what merely appears urgent gives them a significant advantage. Another reason successful leaders focus on effectiveness is that they recognize time is a limited resource. Money can be earned back, opportunities can return, but time can never be recovered. Because of this, they are careful about where they invest their attention. They learn to say no to distractions, unnecessary commitments, and activities that do not align with their goals. Every decision about time becomes a decision about results. Ultimately, effectiveness is about achieving meaningful outcomes. Successful CEOs do not aim to do more, they aim to accomplish what matters most. They understand that one well-executed decision can be more valuable than 100 small actions. By concentrating on the few activities that create the greatest results, they maximize their impact, strengthen their organizations, and move steadily toward their vision of success. Successful CEOs think differently because they refuse to become trapped by the problems of the present moment. While most people spend their time reacting to daily challenges, effective leaders focus on where they want to be months and years from now. They understand that today's decisions shape tomorrow's reality. Every choice they make is guided by a larger vision rather than immediate comfort or convenience. One of the biggest differences between average thinkers and successful leaders is their perspective on problems. Most people see obstacles as barriers that stop progress. Successful CEOs see them as temporary conditions that must be managed while they continue moving toward their long-term objectives. They know that every business, career, and achievement will encounter difficulties along the way. What matters is not the existence of problems but the ability to look beyond them. Future-focused leaders constantly ask themselves important questions. Where is the market going? What skills will be valuable in the coming years? What opportunities are emerging that others have not yet noticed? Instead of concentrating all their energy on current circumstances, they dedicate time to understanding future trends and preparing for them before everyone else does. This mindset allows successful CEOs to make decisions that may not produce immediate rewards, but create significant benefits later. They are willing to invest in learning, innovation, talent, and systems that strengthen their position over time. While others seek quick results, they understand that lasting success is built through patience, planning, and consistent effort. Another characteristic of future-oriented leaders is their ability to delay short-term gratification. They know that some of the best opportunities require sacrifice today in exchange for greater rewards tomorrow. Whether it involves investing resources, developing employees, or improving processes, they are willing to make difficult decisions because they can clearly see the long-term value behind them. Successful CEOs also understand that reacting emotionally to every challenge can lead to poor decisions. When unexpected problems arise, they remain calm and evaluate the situation within the context of their larger goals. They ask themselves whether the issue will still matter a year from now. This perspective helps them avoid panic and stay focused on what truly matters. The future belongs to those who prepare for it. Great leaders spend time imagining possibilities before they become realities. They study changes in technology, customer behavior, industry trends, and economic conditions. By anticipating what lies ahead, they position themselves to take advantage of opportunities that others fail to recognize until it is too late. Ultimately, successful CEOs understand that leadership is not about managing the present alone. It is about creating the future. They look beyond today's distractions, challenges, and uncertainties to focus on what can be built over time. By keeping their eyes fixed on long-term opportunities, they make decisions that create sustainable growth, lasting impact, and extraordinary success. Successful CEOs understand that responsibility. Nonsense is more than accepting a title or position. It is a commitment to producing results. They do not measure their success by how much authority they possess, but by the outcomes they create. They know that leadership is ultimately judged by performance, progress, and impact. One of the defining characteristics of effective leaders is ownership. When challenges arise, they do not immediately look for someone to blame. Instead, they ask themselves what they can do to improve the situation. They understand that blame consumes energy, while ownership creates solutions. By taking responsibility, they maintain control over their response and their future. Many people spend valuable time making excuses. They point to the economy, competitors, lack of resources, or unfavorable circumstances. Successful CEOs think differently. They recognize that while external factors may influence outcomes, their focus must remain on what they can control. This mindset keeps them proactive rather than active. Ownership also creates accountability. Effective leaders establish clear goals and define what success looks like. They understand that vague intentions rarely produce meaningful results. By setting measurable objectives, they create a framework that allows them to track progress and evaluate performance objectively. Successful CEOs are committed to measurement because they know that improvement requires awareness. They constantly monitor key indicators that reveal whether they are moving closer to their goals. Rather than relying on assumptions or emotions, they use facts and data to understand what is working and what needs adjustment. Measuring progress provides valuable feedback. Every result tells a story. A positive outcome reveals effective actions that should be repeated. A disappointing result highlights areas that require attention. Instead of fearing feedback, successful leaders embrace it because they see it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Another important bit of effective CEOs is continuous evaluation. They regularly review their decisions, strategies, and performance. They understand that success is never permanent and that yesterday's solutions may not solve tomorrow's problems. This willingness to examine their own actions keeps them adaptable and competitive. Continuous improvement becomes a way of life for great leaders. They are never satisfied with simply maintaining the status quo. They constantly search for better methods, more efficient systems, and smarter approaches. Even when things are going well, they look for opportunities to improve because they understand that growth requires constant effort. Successful CEOs also encourage a culture of responsibility within their organizations. They inspire people to take ownership of their work, solve problems independently, and contribute to shared goals. When responsibility becomes part of the culture, organizations become stronger, more innovative, and more resilient. What separates exceptional leaders from average performers is their ability to transform responsibility into action. They do not stop at acknowledging a challenge or identifying a goal. They take deliberate steps to create progress. Their focus remains on execution because they know that ideas alone have little value without action. Ultimately, successful CEOs understand that results are the natural outcome of responsibility, measurement, and continuous improvement. They take ownership of their decisions, track their progress with discipline, and constantly seek ways to become better. Through this process, they create momentum, achieve meaningful goals, and build lasting success. Responsibility is not a burden to them, it is the foundation upon which achievement is built.